Good morning everyone. I just wanted to share while it's still fresh in my mind, having spent the first night with my bikepacking camping setup, any improvements that I'm thinking of and what my setup is like. So I'll show you around in a bit, but before that it's been a pleasant night considering I've not camped out in years and years. I've done a lot of camping out and a lot of cycling separately, but never the two combined. So I'm trying the whole setup like a dry run. Granted, it's only my garden, but I've tried to make it as realistic as possible. So I'll run you through the setup as I've got it, but I'm pretty happy with it as it is. And I know it's going to change, which is why I wanted to have a record of what it looked like when I started, because quite often you forget. So let's run you through it, and hopefully any improvements I'll be able to track over the different videos. So let's start with the tent. It's North Face Tadpole 23. It's not a very modern tent, but it is North Face. It is a two-person tent, although I'd struggle to see how two people would sleep in here unless you were very, very small. It does mean that for one person it's very, very spacious. So you've got all of this room here. So I've got my sleeping mat along this side, and I've still got all of this room. Mind you, where I'm sat, it does narrow near the foot end, and then you've got this little porch area where I've got my cook kit, shoes, pannier bags and everything else, and there's plenty of room there for your bags. And to be honest, at a push, I was considering last night you could probably get the frame of your bike under here as well if you're worried about security, etc. The other good thing about the tent, and I've got several tents, several quite good tents. The reason I went for this one is that if you'll notice, I've actually set it up in my garden and it's on paving stones here, and you don't need to peg this tent down for it to stay up. So it's one of these, I forget what you call it now, but I'm sure there's a posh term for it, but it's where the poles cross over, geo something or other anyway. So it's a 3-pole system. You've got 2 poles crisscrossing each other like that, and then you've got one arching to keep this front porch up. And the only thing you really need to peg down, strictly speaking, if you wanted the porch area, that isn't self-supporting. So I've got 2 pegs over there, which again, if you were on hard ground somewhere, you could just put your shoes or something just holding that out, or else it does tend to collapse. But yeah, North Face Tadpole 23, fantastic tent, great design. I am at some point going to go and give it a new DWR coating, because it is a bit of a retro tent. I mean, it's aged now, but it's aged fantastically well. It's a great pull system, very strong in the wind. Good colours, does stand out, which, you know, if you're stealth camping, and that may not be a good thing, but I suppose in other ways it is very good, and loads of space. So like I say, I mean, there's room here probably for another sleeping bag at a push. Next, I just wanted to cover the sleep system. Sleeping bag itself, Carrymore Global 900. Now this, I think at a push, is probably at best a 2-season, maybe with a liner, a 3-season bag. Packs down really small. But underneath that, I've got the Nemo Tensor long wide. Now if you look at my other videos, or if you watch my other videos and got bored, you'll notice that I did ask a lot of friends for advice, and one of the things they said was just don't compromise on your mat, because you do lose a lot of heat. And I know this from camping. I've had decent mats in the past, never one as good as this that packs. I've never had need for one that packs down so small. So I've had like the roll mats and the reflective roll mats, which have served me well, but I've got to say this is absolutely fantastic. Takes about 3 puffs from its self-inflating bag that's in there, and it's rigid. Not that noisy. I will try and do a review on the mat itself, because I think it's worth it. It's a very important piece of kit. It's insulated, and when I say it's insulated, I saw the reviews for it, and granted, last night it was not very cold. I mean, the coldest it went down to last night was probably about 9 degrees, but it reflects all of your body heat straight back up into you. And at one point I was just too warm. What was I sleeping in? I guess that's very important as well. Whilst I'm in my camp gear now, down jacket and down pants. These are just for testing, by the way. It's not all cold. In boxes, with just this 2-season sleeping bag, I was too warm. So all of you that recommended either the Thermarest or the Nemo, thank you very much for the recommendation. It is a lot of money, but you can't compromise on sleep, especially if you're going to be day on day traveling. You need a good night's sleep. So that's the sleep system. In terms of the pillow, all I did is I've got dry bag with my spare clothes. I don't want to be carrying an inflatable pillow. I do have one. I don't think I'm going to be taking it with me at camp. The mattress inflates with its bag. It's absolutely brilliant, and I don't want to be sat there huffing and puffing up a pillow. And I know they don't take much, but this works perfectly well. Is one thing I got asked, sorry, is this noisy? You can probably hear that. It's not very noisy, to be honest, if you're using it with a sleeping bag on top. Yeah, it's a little bit noisy due to the nature of the material, but I didn't hear it. It didn't wake me up. Maybe if there was somebody in the tent next to me, they might find it annoying, but yeah, perfect for me. I would highly recommend it. It is a lot of money, this one, if you can get one second hand. The warranty on these is supposed to be brilliant, so if you just bite the bullet and just spend the money once, maybe worth your while. I got the long wide version, so quite often you can find that, you know, your elbows drop off here, or your knees are on the ground and you're losing heat, or one part you really just no numbness whatsoever. You sometimes wake up with a tingling arm or a numb leg or something. Absolutely nothing. Slept like a log all the way through. Brilliant system. Other bits and pieces I just want to record and maybe useful to you. What I'm using these little Carrymore wash bags, because quite often, especially in the night when there's no source of light, you've got stuff on the floor of the tent and it's covered by something else and you can't find it. So I've got 2 wash bags. This is actually serving as a wash bag, so I've got my toiletries stuff in there, and I've kept that near the entrance, so if I come back to the tent and I need my wash bag, just reach in. It comes with this brilliant little hook. The Tadpole comes with hooks everywhere. All modern tents will have, and you can just hook it up, keeps it off the ground, make sure that everything you need is accessible and you're not fumbling around here under dry bags to find where your wash bag is. And that one is a wash bag, but it's doubling up as my tech bag, so the GoPro batteries, all the leads that I need, all in there. So I know that once I've got that and I'm in the tent, it doesn't matter what's left in the pannier bags. I know that I've got all my tech in there, so head torches with spares, room torches, absolutely brilliant. Speaking of torches, I don't know if you can see this, but brilliant internet purchase. These little carabiner LED lights, charged with USB. They've also got a magnet on the back, so if you've got a metal surface you can think. But this last night I switched it on a couple of times and it was probably too bright. I might have to mask off some of it because it hasn't got a low light setting, because it literally just turned the tent into daylight, which may be annoying if you're camping with other people. It was annoying for me because I try and preserve the night vision if I'm going out of the tent into a dark camping site. But superb. These are about £4 or £5, maybe a little more with postage, but they're absolutely brilliant. The charge does last quite a while, and I think I'm going to be taking a couple of these on the bikepacking, because let me just switch it on. You can tell, so that's the first setting, really bright. That's slightly toned down, but it also has this setting as well. So if you were stuck for your head torch or your front bike torch not working or dying, a couple of these in your kit. And if I don't like to ride in the dark, but say I was stuck, then I've always got that to make yourself very, very visible. Other than that, I've got this very useful head torch, so that stays there, so it's instantly accessible. I can just reach over from the bed. And this again has got two settings. It's got the directional light, which is quite bright, and then it's got the peripheral light, which is slightly less bright, but it gives you a wider view. Again, brilliant internet purchases. Have a look at them. They're about £6 or £7 delivered. USB charging and all the charging cables again neatly in there. I'll just catalogue for you, so show you what I'm in. So I'm in my down pants and Montane down jacket. Some of you may wonder from the earlier post, I mean, a 2-season sleeping bag, is it going to be good enough? The reason I've got it is it packs down really, really small, and I carry this down jacket everywhere I go anyway, regardless of seasons. So all I really had to do is by purchasing and adding on the down pants, I think you'd be good paired up with some nice Smith socks, down to 3/4 seasons, because right now I'm absolutely boiling. I'm testing these just to see how well they retain heat and how they, but all my body heat's just inside of here. Yes, they're not very fashionable. You might look like a bit of a, and you can see from the finish, it's this is shiny Pertex thingy coating, and yeah, it's not right fetching, but you'll be warm at least. Cross into the porch, quick scan of it. So you got pannier 1 there, pannier bag 2 just over there, shoes, top of pannier bag, my cook set, which I'll do another video on, but I'm sure you've seen enough. Probably going to reduce the size of the pots, and the canister there is a massive 500-gram one. That's probably going to go down to about a 200-gram one when I'm actually out camping, and then all of it lives in that little bag there to make it as silent as possible. But yeah, that's it. I'll go out in a second and I'll do a walk around of the bike and the tent, but that gives you an idea. So this is the tent. I am testing, as you've probably noticed, in my garden. I've also got the gazebo up just for added protection. I've still got to give it a fresh DWR coating. It's good, I know it is, but it's been stored for that long. I'm going to give it a wash and get rid of some of this stuff, because it does inhibit the waterproofing, and then give it a new waterproofing. It is brilliant, but this is what I meant by the crisscross design. And then you've got a 3-pole system, 1, 2, and then you've got that one that holds up the porch at the front end of it. And just for scale, I mean, it gives you an idea. There's bike, tent, so it is a lot bigger than the coffin type or the one-man tent type, but for the little bit of additional weight, I think it's worth the room that you get inside. But yeah, not much to be said about that. It's a bulletproof tent. It's brilliant. Had it for years and years and years, and never let me down. It stays up. The only 2 pegs are just there and there to keep that section of the porch out, or else it just collapses in on itself. Other than that, you don't really need to peg it. You can peg those bits out, to give you a bit of extra from the outer shell. And then you can obviously peg them out if you wanted to, but with you inside of it, and with the weight of all your kit, it's not going anywhere. I've had it unpegged in quite high winds, moves about a bit, but yeah, that's one of the best things. So if you're on hard ground or somewhere you don't need to peg it out, there are points where you can attach guy lines to give it some rigidity, and I do carry extra guy lines, but yeah, absolutely brilliant. And this is the bike. It's changed, it's transitioned massively. I just put that over the seat, so that if it does rain, it's dry. But the fork bags, they carry the tent and my down clothing, so the inner of the tent, and then down pants, and then the outer the other side, and down jacket, whichever way around. Onto the front clips on my quick fix bag, which then goes in there with me. That has all my quick access stuff, gloves, hat, tech stuff, and then 2 pannier bags, and then a pannier top back there as well. That's the setup. I've got another video for that. I won't bore you with it here. Well, I hope that gives you a good idea of my camp setup. It is going to transition naturally. Well, it's already into like Mark 3 or Setup 3, but this is why I wanted to make the video, just so I can look back and compare. I'll leave it at that, and can't wait to get out of this stuff. I just thought I'd test my down gear, and right now I'm just like, I feel like a bit of a boil in a bag of rice at the minute, because way too hot. It's only what, about 14 degrees out. It's been a lovely evening and a pleasant morning, so get out of this into something more comfortable. See you on the next one.